What's up, Harn Nation? I'm here with Hunter and Bo today. We wanted to get together and hopefully share some tips, tricks, some nuggets, some wisdom, and a little bit of the future direction of where harness is heading. So let's start at the beginning, guys. Since this is our first round, let's just start with introductions.
Cool. Bo, let's hear it. You're on.
My name's Bo.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, Bo Fulkinga, VP of Sales here, Harn Nation, what up? Met these guys at separate intervals of my life. I met Owen out on the East Coast while we were pillaging New Jersey for solar sales. And then Hunter up in dusty Fresno.
Say that.
NorCal represent.
Great market. Love Fresno.
We've all found ourselves in the nestle of Southern California, in the stronghold of Harness Nation.
Was Hunter also pillaging when you found him?
He was pillaging.
We were
Yeah.
pillaging. Yeah,
He was pillaging. Yeah. He might have had his exit plan dialed in, but while he was there, he was on.
Gotcha.
He was on. Fresno sucks though.
Yeah, it's not the most ideal place. You know, there's pockets where it's nice, but
Never seen that pocket.
we should go. But as far as solar goes, it's one of the best markets, biased opinion, in the country for sure.
Vacation to Fresno?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. It's great because there's so much dust up there on the panels that they actually blend into the roof. They're like camouflage.
You know, it's an awesome place when even the people from Fresno never say anything good about Fresno. I've just never heard great things. But let's get off.
Let's divert from this Fresno topic.
We could spend an hour and a half.
We're supposed to be talking about Bo. You continue.
What do you got, Hunter, man? What's your role? How'd you get here? How do you know us? Give us the 411.
Well, you know where I'm from, right? The nestled, beautiful place that is Fresno. But yeah, I started in solar about 5-6 years ago at Legacy, where that's where Bo and I met, and just pillaged the Fresno market for as long as I could. Actually started a dealership with one of my good friends and ran that for a while. Tried a Hawaii move right when COVID was landing, and the wife and I were like, you know, this would last a month.
Not a bad place to be stuck.
Right? Yes and no. It was pretty strict. Anyway, so that lasted about 9-10 months, and then we moved back and we knew Orange County, and we kind of were like da. No, I'm kidding. We actually found a house popped up in Dana, and it was a perfect fit. And then Bo's like, "Dude, you live in Dana?" I was like, "I do." What's up, dude? Let's surf. And the rest is history.
The Harn House has a magnetic pull to people that enjoy solar and surfing and stoking hard. If you're within the 15-mile ratio, you will find yourself just not even knowing. You'll just be walking towards the Harn House. You don't even know.
It's an absolute fact. It's like the nice one.
For sure. You just show up. You just show up. Well, it's been awesome to have you, man. I love that you moved to Dana, and it was just what a great fit. Hunter's been a amazing addition to the team, and we are happy to have Papa Hunter. He's actually here awaiting a third child. Jack is on the way.
About to be new baby daddy.
If this podcast finished with only 2 people, y'all know what happened.
I know.
But thanks for taking the time
On
out today.
standby, because Jack's coming.
He's coming.
Appreciate it. Love you guys.
Oh,
What's
dude,
up,
tell us
Bo?
about yourself, dude.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Owen Santos, VP of Execution. I've been in this industry for about 10 years. This industry being door-to-door sales. Started in alarms or security sales, depending on who you ask. And then eventually got into solar with Trinity Solar that's where we met out in, what was that, 2017? Early 17, I think. Yep. Yeah. And then ended up back in the land of milk and honey, linked up with you, thank God, after started my own little venture, which was fun while it lasted, and saw a beautiful exit, which was Harness, and merging the two companies. My company at that point was called Olympus Solar. Merging that with Harness, man, as you know, has been one of the most fun experiences I think either one of us has had to date in our careers.
Hands down.
Couldn't be more stoked about it. And then I just met Hunter through you. You have a way of bringing people together like that, and I know I do as well. I think we all do. I think Dan does as well, and that's what makes part of what makes Harness so special so far.
Absolutely. In that nice, warm Harn bosom, the nestle of sorts.
Just the biggest, tightest family.
It feels warm.
It does. It feels good.
It feels warm.
It feels warm. It feels like walking downstairs on Christmas morning with your family. You're linking arms. Just the fire's roaring. There's presents. You're just happy
every day.
It's just every
Except
day.
It's like 100 juiced up salespeople screaming at you.
Yes.
What I want to know is we all get into sales. Like that's always the funnest stories. Like who recruited you? What was your story? What were you doing beforehand? Like what was the propeller that got you into the industry?
Yeah, I learned from a very little known named Tony Robbins.
Never heard of him.
Personally, found him. We spent a lot of time together. Let me speak at his events.
He let you jump on his trampoline.
Whacking those things together. No, man, I got in. It was in Phoenix, trying to extend my short-lived pro baseball career, trying to find places to stay in shape and get looks. And I had a buddy, Riley Traveler, came out, played golf with me. He was up from Tucson. I hadn't seen him since graduation day of high school. And he came up. He's like, let's just play golf. Haven't seen you.
Oldest trick in the book.
Got me on the 10th hole.
That is the same thing as when I take my shoes off.
Yeah, and he
aggressive.
And he slow played me too. First of all, worst golfer at that point.
He's
of his
bad
life.
at everything.
He's put up
not recruiting. He's
paid
the top tracks.
He's paid a lot of money to use like Charles Barkley's swing. I mean, it was so bad. He was taking divots with his driver, full swing. I was embarrassed to be on the course with him. Honestly, I'm surprised I didn't leave because I knew people and they knew me. But by about the 10th hole, he slow played me and started talking about solar, and we're giving people solar systems and nothing out of pocket, and they save money, and actually you're able to make some money doing it. And I said, how much money? And he said, I don't know, $3,000 a week. And I was like, you're talking about millionaire money.
Instantly.
Yeah.
3,000 equals $1 million.
Yeah. So you're a millionaire. You have a Bugatti. And I dropped. He said, "Don't quit your job. We're on a hiring freeze." Shout out to Chris Johnson, the recruiter at Solar City, who let me through the gates during a 3-month hiring freeze they were on. Because Riley told me not to quit my job. The next day, I resigned from my position as a bartender and server at a sushi place. And
you've always been good at following directions.
Yeah. Yep.
God bless.
He said, "There's no way."
Amen. Amen.
He's like, "We're not kidding. Like, it wasn't a ploy. Like, we really can't hire you." And I just said, "Tell me where the office is, where the manager lives, and I'll take care of the rest." Like, I want to do this. Met a guy named Curtis Taylor. Shout out Seawood, my first manager, another Southern Idaho guy. He'd been in the industry forever. He was one of the best people in the world to learn from, man. Carried himself with a big presence. At that time, he was running the #1 team at Solar City up in Phoenix, and just had a way about him, man. He was one of the coolest people to learn from. And I think that one thing you'll find as we go through this, and I'm excited to hear your guys' stories as well, is a lot of us that have made it in the industry pretty far, and we're really blessed with great leadership. I was talking to Landon this week, and he got brought on by John Frampton, was his very first manager. So high class people produce other high class people, and I think that's part of what we want to talk about today. So
for sure,
I'll post that over to you, Hunter.
What about you, Hunty?
Cool. Yeah. So I was actually one of those kids that just was not gifted in school. I tried my earnest best, I will say, and got booted. They're like, "Listen, this kid sucks." I had an accumulative GPA of below the threshold, which I don't want to say. It's kind of embarrassing, and that was with me trying.
Nice.
Booted me for 3 semesters. I was newly married, so I moved back to the beautiful city of Fresno, California, and I was like, "What's the next move?" I wanted to go into farming. If you know anything about Fresno, farming's like the move up there.
Get your Carhartts on.
Get my Carhartts on. Got a brand new combine harvester. I'll give you the key.
I could see it. I could picture that.
It was a grind. So I actually was teaching swim lessons, and one of my students' dad was a farmer, and I was just like, "Hey, can I chat with you after his kid's lesson?" I was like, "I want to get into farming." He was like, "Cool. Me, my dad, and my brother have like a family farm that's been in the farm for generations. Like, we'll kind of mentor you." So I was like, "Rad." I just, they said they were on a hiring freeze though.
They did not.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. They did. That was just a joke. Yeah, right. Farming, just no recruiting. And anyway, so I quit. I finished the summer teaching swim.
You left a kid in the pool.
I was like,
no
"You
floaties,
got this, bro."
No floaties. Following your heart, dude.
Shout out to the dad over here. "You got this, bud. Just keep going." I'm out. No, I was out. I went under his wing. He was a very cool guy. And he just had me do all of the, pardon my French, bitch work to learn the ropes. I was 7 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day for almost 2 years. My wife and I rarely saw each other because she worked as a medical assistant. And during the spring, when the bees are pollinating the trees, we have to spray them with, there's pesticides, herbicides, and also other chemicals. You can't spray during the day because the bees are out. You have to wait till the bees go to sleep. So we would like clock in at like 6 p.m. And then spray until like sunrise, nonstop. And that was for 3 months of the year. Insane, dude. It was an insane grind. And then I was in the shop, and not during the harvest season, I was in the shop fixing all the equipment. Like, he put me through the ringer of learning how to farm and run teams and fix equipment to cut down costs, because I wanted to open my own custom harvesting business. And the overarching theme was, dude, do you enjoy having a life? I was like, yeah. He's like, then get the hell out of farming.
Run.
Yeah, dude. They all lived on these farmhouses right by the farm, and they all just worked, and their wives raised the kids. Very old-fashioned, traditional lifestyle, and they're just breadwinners that grinded. And I was like, I respect that, but I want to have more of a work-life balance. So my wife was actually nannying at the time. It was just a serendipitous event of like me feeling like, okay, maybe this isn't the route to go. She was nannying for a regional manager for an alarm company. And he kept saying, I think your husband would be good. Let me get an interview with him. And I've always been diametrically opposed to door-to-door sales. Diametrically opposed. So anyways, at a point of like desperation, I was like, cool, I'll meet with this guy. And man, did he sell me. Oh, he sold me. Honeywell equipment, you're gonna do 2 gigs, panels, like we have the best cameras, monitoring.
All you're doing is putting a sign out front.
Oh yeah, dude, the whole, put a sign in your yard, we'll give you a free system. And I was like, we will?
It's
like
easy.
So naive.
Everybody can do
I was bought in. And and then there was obviously in alarms, just like there's the upfront pay, then your back end. And the upfront, I believe, was like $250.
Oh yeah.
He was like, yo.
That was good for the industry. That's
Right.
$50 higher than I started.
You're right, yeah.
Big moves.
It was a lot, but check this out, dude. He did the old, he closed me hard. Looking back, he's like, because you're a friend, I'm gonna up your upfront pay to $350. I was like, babe, they are doing me the biggest hookup. So I signed.
Won't be rich, bitch.
I'm like, just go shopping now. Put it on the CC, babe. We're gonna be making buku bucks. So I signed up and did a summer there. I was actually the top rookie. I went out, took it so seriously. I was like, he gave me a script of a full sales process from door knock till close, memorized it.
And Alarms has that structure.
Oh,
that's one thing they did well.
They have great structure. And he even told me, he was like, you can't knock a door until you can pass off the script with 90% accuracy. So I went home, I memorized it, I'm practicing in the mirror. I was role playing in our apartment with my wife, and she was laughing, and I was like, this is serious.
How nervous were you when you tried to pass that test, where you had to stand up and get 90%?
Oh, I was so nervous.
Was it in front of the room, or was it just in front of him?
It was in front of him and his co-regional and my manager.
Oh, you're on.
I was frightened.
Past that for
so
sure.
Frightened.
That's a big one.
Pass it off, win, top rookie. I love the guys I was with, but the pay wasn't as promised, you know, and there was a lot of pay issues. So hopped over to solar, and it's just been game over since, and just taking the sales career seriously, and it's just fun progressing, you know. It's a fun career that provides longevity. That's what kept me out for so long. I was like, these guys just slam doors for 2 summers and then they go get a real job. Took me a good year or 2 to realize, no, this is a career.
This is the real job.
This is the real job.
This is the end game.
Absolutely. Took it seriously, and
at least for the next couple of years, right?
For sure. Life's been great. But what about you, Will? I've actually never heard this story. So
It's funny when you do these things, how we actually find things out about each other. We've been hanging out.
And you're like,
working
oh, I
together
actually
for a
like
long
you.
time.
Don't even know who each other are.
I know. Right?
We found each other's
think
middle
that's-
names out last week, and it was chaos.
It was
a
fun.
very revealing session.
I know.
For sure.
Even more so
I looked at you both differently, but
So Donald, let's the
all
Donald.
right, Bjorn, pump the brakes. Donald, you're on.
Mine was simple. Thank you. I'm on. Mine was simple, guys. I played a little college basketball, and then moved. I was in Virginia. Moved back to Arizona to be with my really high school girlfriend and my high school friends that I felt like I didn't get to close that chapter with at that point. And really just kind of messed around, did some random odd jobs for 3 years. Worked in a Mercedes-Benz dealership, got keys to all their cars, drove them around all day, gassed them up. They never should have given me that at 20 years old.
G-Wagon.
Shout out to Scottsdale Schumacher. Still the most fun job a 20-year-old could have. Unbelievable. I was driving around Lamborghinis and Ferraris because they would trade them in. And I'm driving 2 miles to the gas station every single day. That was my whole job, just gas up those cars.
Yeah, that thing is now a Walgreens or something because they went out of business.
Oh, for sure. I almost died every day, especially if it was raining. I mean, it's 50-50 if you come home from that.
For sure.
It's great.
I love it.
It was great. But quickly realized that, trying to crash Lambos every day wasn't my future. And eventually got linked up with a college teammate. and he had a friend who was coming out to Arizona for a preseason, alarm preseason. You know how that goes. And he's like, "You'd be good at this. You should try it." And he was doing something similar back in Virginia, so he just basically gave me the referral. I went to lunch with these guys, Del Falco's in Scottsdale. If you guys haven't been,
that's a good stuff.
Incredible spot.
I'll pull out all the stops.
These guys pull up in a G37S. They're like, I was 20, 23. They were probably 24, 25. They pull up in a G37S. They get out. And I've always been the believer that what one man can do, another can do. You know, with the exception of jump from the free throw line or maybe throw a 70-yard pass from your ankles or from your knees.
I can do all those things.
Yeah, I knew you could. I can't. That's what I'm saying.
That's a factual statement.
Right, but for the most part, I really believe what one person can do, another person can do if you get the right education.
100%. You know? Why them, not me?
Exactly. And so these guys stepped out and they started giving me the pitch. And I was like, guys, just tell me what you made last year. Like, I knew it was door-to-door sales. I knew it was alarms. I wasn't scared of that. But I was just curious, like I knew it was gonna be challenging, but what's the reward for this? And they showed me, as you mentioned, in alarms, you get about 50% of your money on what's called a back end. And if you have a bad manager, he takes half your back end and you get a quarter of it. But they showed me their back end and they must have had a good manager because the one dude had a $90,000 back end. And I'm like,
that's really good.
This dude can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Where do I sign?
Sign me up.
Before the lunch was even over,
yours.
I was all in. And I won't name any names or mention any specifics, but it actually didn't end up being a great situation. Pretty poor leadership there, and I think that really held me back at the beginning of my career. I had poor leadership in general, and I was a poor rep also. I had no idea what the hell I was doing, and that actually gets me to where I wanted to go with you guys. Is what are some of the struggles that we went through? And mine were immediate poor leadership, and I was absolutely terrible at this job. I was the worst rookie as opposed to Hunter's best rookie. I was the worst rookie in my company for 3 months, and then ended up having a decent kind of back half of that for that first summer. And I really didn't figure it out at a high level, at a super high level until my third year. My second year was okay. I sold about just over 100, which is pretty decent for an alarm rep. Maybe the equivalent to probably installing, what do you think 100 alarms is? Probably installing like 30, 40 at a big solar company.
Well, I was going to say dealer or what
are
we talking?
I'm talking big numbers. Let's talk big numbers for the sake of it. But it was an average level second year. And then my third year, I just got bigger. I got bigger reasons, bigger causes, which is something I'll get into. And my girlfriend, my now wife, moved in with me, and I became a leader in the industry for the first time. I recruited a bunch of dudes, did what every aspiring alarm manager does, recruited a bunch of dudes. I had a high-level recruiter working with me at that point, who we all know very well, and he fed my office almost 100 people that summer. So I had all these people to take care of. I had my girlfriend, again, now wife, living with me at the time. And so my reasons for success and my causes for success just blew up out of nowhere. And so I went from average the second year to world class that year and sold 352, which probably only a few people in the country did.
No wonder you got the aforementioned guys back. And now it all makes sense. 100 reps in the summer. Shit, go to war.
It was just about 100 people. We ended with 20. That is a battalion of sorts.
Oh,
we had a battalion in El Paso, Texas. We were the troops out there.
Your office chants. I would love to hear that. Just everyone else in the shared office spaces are just like every day around noon.
Because we're in a
building shakes.
Yeah, we're
Let's go El Paso. Let's go El Paso.
Because you were in alarms, and most people don't know this. I've been in them, but you descend upon an apartment complex, and one of the apartments is your office.
Sure.
So typically, the entire complex ends up pretty much hating you, even if you're nice and respectful. There's only 100 alarm reps can only be so nice and so respectful.
Right. It's like you guys seen Caddyshack when the pool got caddy day and they come ripping through. They got 1 hour. Duty.
Yeah, it's pretty savage. So that's how I got into it, and segued right into really how I did it first. I struggled until I got better leaders and better causes. Really. What about you, Bo? We'll start there.
Talking about trials and tribulations.
Yeah, I think you did well right off the bat, didn't you?
I did
fairly well.
I did okay, man. I did well enough in 3 or 4 months, and really built enough relationships with Curtis and Riley, and then they wanted to send us out at Solar City to the East Coast. The Mid Atlantic was the 12th out of 12 least profitable markets.
So that's good.
They coined the starfish idea. If we could take a few guys from the best office,
such a crucial plan.
Take one arm, that arm will grow back, and then that new arm will grow another starfish in New Jersey. So there was about 7 or 8 of us that got sold across country. I'd only been doing sales for 4 or 5 months. Was not that great at it. Did enough to kind of, show me that it was the real deal and see the potential in it. And I knew, like I felt kind of when I went to my first year of college, I went with no car, got dropped off with a bike, back of the truck with my dad. And, good luck, bud. But I knew I wasn't going back to Southern Idaho a loser or a tail between my legs. And every day I worked to make sure it happened. There was only one option. I think Leo Sedgman said something I always remember, no plan B, just 100 ways to make option A work. And I felt like this was an opportunity for me to go across the country. Didn't even have the gas money to get back, so the conquistadors mindset. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to leave my comfortable nestle here in Phoenix and my friends. And I just knew that if I wanted to be serious about this career, that I had to kind of cut ties and go all in with it. And I knew, what I'd done in the past and how I've risen to multiple occasions. And so I wanted to force myself to do that. And went out there and
can we pause on that for a second, because it's interesting. Most people don't have that opportunity when they get into solar, and I think that's what makes alarm reps successful sometimes.
For sure.
They leave their comfort zone.
100%.
I know we did, right? But
you ship out.
It's interesting you had the same opportunity.
Yeah,
right?
It's very rare. I mean, it's very rare. I don't see a lot of offices or in any industry, you just be like, hey, you guys live in Fresno. Do you guys want to uproot your life and just, go to this new market?
And I think people have to realize that if they don't have that, they have to have that mentality. Like you almost have to create that for yourself.
In your own nestle, like stop talking to your friends.
Yeah, like leave your nestle or create that lack of comfort zone for yourself.
Way harder to do it when you're, you have friends calling you or you're in the same routines, going to the same places, seeing the same people. It's really hard to break out.
So you're trying to become a different person
in the same body, in the same body,
with the same people around, potentially still living at your parents' house if you're real young in this industry.
Right.
A lot of those alarm kids, they leave their parents' house and that's the first place they go.
Right.
Is El Paso, Texas, to go bang doors for something.
Right. And they don't want to have the worst day. That means you don't get to play FIFA first.
Right.
So you go out and produce so you can get on the sticks early. But yeah, man, I got out there and of the 8 people, we were all promised equal opportunities. I was the youngest one in the market, but I took it really seriously. I went out there and did 4 or 5 in the first 2 weeks. New territory, knew nothing, but just was working the hours, really working hard. And I got looked over on the first round of promotions. To be honest, everybody got an ADM or a DM spot, but me and one other guy. And at that time, I was top of the group, and it really got me disgruntled. Uprooted, and the close relationship I had with my leader at that time, and promises that were made, and it really messed with me, man. It was a hard month, and plus I was living in a 3-bedroom apartment in Voorhees, New Jersey, with I think at 1.6 people, 5 people, double bunk beds. Was with my dog and my girlfriend at the time, sharing one car. So it was it was not a great situation. And to be overlooked like that definitely threw me for a 30 day. It made it tough to get going and restart that motor. And
probably the best thing ever happened to you, though.
For
or
sure.
One of them, right? I'm sure it helped.
Definitely. I think the same thing happened to me in baseball, man. I got a crazy story. I rode the bench when I went to Western Oregon. Barely made the bus, the traveling team. Didn't start the first 6 games. The guy in front of me went 0 for 22 with 5 strikeouts. I was chasing foul balls. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was, running down every fly ball that went, in the stands. I was racing the other team behind the backstop, just trying to do something to earn my way on the field. I was trapped.
Look how fast I am with these fly balls.
One time there was
the coach is watching the game. You're racing yourself behind the stands.
we were at UCSD and playing the Tritons, and first series of the year, like Western Oregon always does. And there was the other team had picked up on me hustling to go get them. So they were chippy. And so they started doing the same thing. They had guys that were racing me out there. And there was a foul ball directly back. So straight back, right behind the umpire. And I take off.
So it's even on both sides.
Yeah. And we got this 6-7 pitcher.
You got the goosebumps going, don't you?
Yeah.
I love it. I got this. It's going to be good. You got the goosebumps going.
I got this.
Hear it.
I got this 6-7 pitcher, my man, my Big Z, my dog. And I'm on his foot like a starting block because he had a foot that was massive. And I sprint, I take off in the back. He's coming, I'm coming, we're coming full speed. So I slide to slow myself down, take his legs out.
Nice.
Beautiful.
He goes up over the top. There's dust everywhere. We both get up awkward. We don't even say anything to each other.
Wasn't even in the game.
I run back to the dugout. He runs back to the
dugout.
dugout.
Left the ball.
Left the ball. Oh. Nobody got it. So the umpire had to walk back there and grab the ball. my coach at the time, and I can't wait to talk to him. I hope to have him on one of these podcasts. J-Rob, I want to talk to you sometime, but he comes in and he's like, what just happened? So I got taken off foul ball duty. I couldn't even, not only could I not play, but now I was relinquished the only thing I could do. And shout out to AJ Royal, the guy that was playing in front of me, 0 for 22, 6 Ks, really just not competing at the plate. Sorry, buddy. And they put me in. And he's like, you don't have to go 3 for 3 or 4 for 4. But and before that game, my whole point was, before I got on the bus that day, I called my dad. I had a cup of coffee. I'll never forget. I was walking around the outside of the bus before he got on. And I told him, I was just like, for whatever reason, my confidence was just surging. The way I was taking batting practice, the way I was seeing the ball,
just because you ran that kid over.
No, this was a couple games after that. So
Gotcha.
this was well after that. But the way I was hitting and just my confidence, I told my dad, I was like, I'm the best hitter on this team by far. I'm going to break my finger at the end of this game if I don't play. I'm going to take a medical red shirt. I'm going to transfer. I'm not going to lose a year over this, and I'm definitely not going to ride the pine because I know for certain my certainty was so high. And you guys know what happens when my certainty starts getting all torqued like that.
When Bo's on,
Watch
out.
Yeah. So I get in there and I show up to the yard that day. And my coach goes, you don't have to go 3 for 3. You don't have to go 4 for 4, but just have quality at bats. I went 2 for 3, 3 for 4, 2 for 3, led the league in hitting that year. Next year, led the league in hitting, home runs, RBIs, whatever. I still carry like 5, 6, 7 divisional records there, and got $1,000 of scholarship. Thanks, Western.
Wow.
Probably the cheapest deal in college baseball history. But that same kind of feeling I had to circle back when I was I had a similar call with my dad. I'll never forget. I was walking around the apartment complex, and I just told him, like, I'm the best solar salesperson here. I got overlooked, and like I'm gonna, same kind of feeling. I had the same kind of juices, and I knew I wasn't gonna leave. I had to make it work. So just kind of got forced to that crossroads of, this is hard. I've been passed over. I haven't gotten what I think I deserve, and I dug deep in both situations and found my certainty of self and what I believed I could create, and went out there and made it happen. I think a few months later I got promoted to ADM, $15 a kilowatt, baby.
Oh, dude.
That was bigger than my first DM job.
First override was like $250, and I thought it was the coolest guy in the world.
That first override is nice.
It is.
Man. It was off of Riley too, as my co-manager. So yeah, what's up, Riley?
That first override, you get that, you're just like, it's real.
Yeah.
Like, it's real.
It's like a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it also, for me, it showed like there was a path of where I could earn income beyond just my personal sales.
Mm-hmm.
And then I quickly realized that I love pouring into people even more than I love selling myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I remember my first override check as well. It's a pretty special feeling.
It's beautiful. Thanks, Riley. We appreciate it. But that was it, man. That conquistador mindset and kind of that feeling of being passed up, knowing that you have more to offer, knowing that they haven't seen the best side of you yet, and operating from a certainty of, I'm going to act as if it's already happened, already real, and, unwavering.
I think that's an interesting thing too. Granger talks about the dark side, like Tim Granger, Jordan and Kobe's trainer. If you guys have read the books, but
Grover, right?
Grover, not Granger.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Granger over at Trinity.
Yeah.
But the dark side was always powerful for me as well, man. I think that there's I think you have to find out what emotion you operate your best in. And for me, oftentimes it was anger, it was fury, it was rage, it was that focused fury. Some of my biggest days on the doors when I was the most pissed off. And not everybody's going to operate that way, but for me, it definitely was.
Playing with a chip on your shoulder is huge, man. And,
sure.
the first time I remember getting that, it's so crazy how the world just like connects, full circle at some points. Riley's dad was the 11-year-old coach.
Yeah, I remember hearing this.
Wow.
So
really?
I moved my mom moved to Arizona. I picked up baseball there and wasn't good. My first Mountain Point Pony League game, I had a bandana on, cargo shorts, I think Tevas and socks. I tagged somebody with my glove with the ball in my hand like it was bad, dude. I almost didn't go back. Everybody's laughing at me. These kids are serious, dude. They're like Oakley's on, like taping their wrists, like they're 12-year-olds ready to go.
Huh?
They are ready to go. And my mom talked me to go back. She's like, we don't have much to do. Like, give this thing a shot. We'll get you some batting lessons and you can figure it out. So I went to this place called Arizona World of Baseball. They just started it. And I went, dude, every day, like 7 days a week for like 400 days. I went there for 2 hours, like my daycare. And I just go in there and I just hit baseballs for 2 hours, 3 hours till my hands were raw. and came back to Idaho. My mom gave me the option at the end of the year. Should we stay here in Arizona with just the two of us or go back to Idaho with the family? And 12 years old, part of my baseball mind wishes I would have stayed and seen what happened, because at the end of my year, I got most improved on the league. They asked me to play on the traveling, like represent Arizona on the 12-year-old team, which was a huge honor. And I said, no, I want to go home. And I go back home to Twin Falls, Idaho, 40,000 people. Immediately try out for baseball. Riley's dad's the coach, and apparently I can represent the state of Arizona as a 12-year-old, but I can't play for the best team in my hometown of Twin Falls, Idaho. They were that stacked apparently, and it's just one of those things, man. I got overlooked. It was very political. Where I grew up was a very religiously, one-sided area, and increasingly more so. And I think that definitely had something to do with it. They kind of had the roster picked before I got there, and I just went off on that B team. I mean, I hit 13 home runs or something. I just
you got to play the cards you're dealt.
That's
right?
it. But had a chip on my shoulder the entire time, and I think I carried that, to that first conversation I had outside of the bus, knowing that I'm getting overlooked right now, but I know who I am and what I'm capable of. And I think that was the first time I learned that, really had kind of had my face rubbed in it, and it was like, all right, you're gonna get up, or are you gonna believe who I say you are? And I think that really was the first time, and I never forgot about that. Every bat I had, every practice I had. I mean, to this day, I still have a little bit on my shoulder. And the craziest part was Riley was the one that brought me into the solar business. So now I gotta see Mike at his wedding, and he's a super nice guy, but very interesting how things just go full circle. And I appreciate both of them for that. Obviously Riley for getting me in the business, and I appreciate Mike for showing me for the first time I remember who I am and what I'm capable of by trying to take it away from me.
I've seen it go both ways, right? I've heard that, not that story, but I've heard situations where it's like, dude, they don't know what I'm capable of. They made a bad decision by skipping me over. I've seen guys go your route where they're just like, forget that. I'm going to show them who I am. And they go, and it drives them, and that motivating factor that it adds propels you in whatever the area is, baseball, this career. I can assure you that you are the person leader you are today because of that experience.
Weird, huh?
It's weird.
12 years old.
And I've seen it. And when you started solar, when you got overlooked for management, that driving factor, I'm sure, as you said, you went out and produced way more. I've also seen it work on the flip side, where that feeling of being undervalued, overlooked, just pushes people away.
Right.
And
the
choice is yours.
They do the turtle head thing.
They turtle head, and then they leave, and
in
something
every situation,
beautiful.
right? You either step up or you step off.
Absolutely.
Right? And the people that are successful in this industry, at least, obviously it's the only industry we have massive experience in, but everybody steps up.
Can you imagine cutting Michael Jordan? Remember, in high school,
he got cut in high school. Same stuff.
I wonder who that coach is. That he was like,
nobody even knows his name.
Yeah, Mike probably had him taken care of.
I know.
He probably did.
He's got billions, dude. He can ice anybody.
Let's shift gears, guys.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our working dynamic. How do we work together? How do you guys think it's going so far, and why does it work?
Well, I think it's a yin yang and hunter. I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain it.
Yin yang plus hunter.
I think you nailed it. I'll speak as kind of obviously, Bo, you've been at Harness the longest. Owen, you've been here for just shy of a year. And
Damn, it's almost been a year. That's wild.
Yeah,
Fast year.
Yeah, it happened fast.
And it's been a fast couple of years, but me obviously just 4 months. So as an onlooker's perspective, coming in and just seeing, everything, I think
I like onlooker, not outsider.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say you're an outsider.
I'm not an outsider. Yeah. I'm in. I love Harness.
You're on.
I'm on.
Outlander.
It's cool. You have Owen and Bo, 2 VPs, right? Running the ship. You have Bo, and as we talked about even yesterday, Bo's the VP of Stoke. He's the good time Charlie. He's everyone's best friend.
We really do need to change that title.
Yeah, no, VP of Sales. So everyone's got VP of Sales.
Right.
I know 19-year-olds that are like, I'm a VP of Sales, and I'm like, that title used to mean something to me. I'm like, oh, you're a VP. Now I'm like, I'm a VP. I'm like, dude.
But VP of Stoke. There's
VP of
never been a
Stoke.
title that defines anybody.
Find me a company that has a VP of Stoke. I'll win. You're looking at one. Bo Fulkinga.
Or find me a person that could even fulfill a role.
Yeah.
So unique.
Can't find it.
I'll wait. You're looking at him.
I'll wait.
Well-spoken, everyone's best friend, super knowledgeable, and is a plethora of good ideas every day. Every day, he's very creative and unique in how you solve company problems. And what really like appealed to me as I was meeting with you guys and Dan was how much you care about the people. Because, we'll talk about other things later, but that's big for me. Like, dollars are great. We've all made a lot of money. That excitement, that thrill of a big paycheck wears away. So like, what really keeps you here? For me, it's people, and you love people. And you treated me good, and I was like, okay. So Bo's kind of the dynamic you add to Harness is you make it a real big family. Like, you are the dad of Harness that makes it just like this great family, and people love that. You have a pulse on everybody in the org.
Gotta get some jorts.
Yeah, some New Balances, tuck in your shirt.
Dad bod, it's the first thing you think about.
Bo's got all the toys. He's got the boat. He's got the jet skis. He's got the sleeper, the camper van. He's got, the Idaho camper wilderness, survival experience. Like, he knows everything. He can grill a burger better than anyone I've ever met. You know what I mean? Like,
Grilling on a radiator.
Yeah. And then you have Owen. What's unique about Owen? You bring in the structure, the highest level of leadership possible, which is an element that every company needs. Every company needs an Owen that can day in, day out, regimentally structure an organization that is suited for progress and metric, or the targeted growth that you need. You bring that element in. So I think with Bo's charisma, Bo's ability to just bring people into the nestle of Harness, and your ability to structure in a way that has growth month after month, and just the structure you add is just phenomenal. So the two of you guys, I think, are this fantastic leaders for Harness. And then there's old Hunty.
Don't worry. I'm gonna drop some bars on my man Hunter over here. But I agree with you, man. I think that what I get out of this, not only with Owen but Dan and even yourself, is the ability to be creative and to have these thoughts, and then know that it's not just a good idea that doesn't get executed. Owen, in every interview, ask people, are you the kind of person that reads a book and say it changes my life, but don't look at your notes and don't follow up and don't actually action again or execute the things that you learn? Is that just passive knowledge that comes in and 5 months from now you can't remember? I think in my career, I think I've had a lot of people that surrounded me that weren't, either wanted to put my ideas to bed or wanted to take credit for themselves, or turn a nose at it for one reason or another, and it really inhibited my ability to think creatively and actually believe that we could actually create stuff. So kind of made it so I wasn't as thoughtful and kind of just became more of like a cog in the wheel. And here, because I'm surrounded by so many people that are so organized and professional and able to execute, and so refined at implementation and making stuff happen between yourself and Dan, I feel like I'm free to have those thoughts and stay creative, because you guys are taking notes, you're actioning stuff, you're Dan's writing a pay scale as we're talking about it, he's taking notes and recording minutes, and it's been just a amazing thing to be like the realest version of myself, and still be extremely productive with how sporadic I can be at times. So absolutely love it.
It's rad. It's true.
Yeah, man. And Hunter, he's just the best, man. I don't know how to explain it. He's a Swiss Army knife for the business. He's super knowledgeable. His experience with door-to-door experts and consulting allows him to come in and identify needs in our business, and his ability to speak and present and be Johnny on the spot. I mean, sit there and dial in a training, an hour before on a notice, and not only get it ready, but actually absolutely crush it, win buy-in and love from all the people in such a short amount of time. I mean, I've never had one person come up to me and like, where's Hunter fit in? Like how is he now a fourth prong to the trident? And it just shows your charisma and ability, and just how high level you are. That's really the thing that I see about the three of us. Of all the companies I've worked at, it's really interesting. Like the people I would have really want to work with the most, even though Owen and I have such different styles, I respected him and always saw him as Trinity as a foe kind of a competitor. Like one of the only people I saw in the room that really that really real recognize real. Like when I saw Owen and how his guys followed him and what he was able to create and the numbers he was able to do and the buying he's able to create and just the way he carried himself, I immediately knew like this is a real deal. And I noticed that same thing with you. And again, it's been echoed every day, the way you've been able to assimilate and add value and support our people. So it's really tough to come into a company from the side like that in a position of leadership, and a lot of times it causes waves, but as per usual, my dog Hunty loves to ride them waves, so he's been making it easy work.
I think it's interesting, right? And I said when I came into, I think I just told Dan, I'm not sure if you were even there for this conversation, but I told Dan, like, coming into a company is an art. Because I just came here like less than a year ago. There's an art, there's a right way to do it, and there's like 15 wrong ways to do it.
There's more than 15.
Right, there's a million wrong ways to do it, and really only that there's a small window for you to get it right. Because once the first impressions are of course so important, and I know that's something I really focused on. I believe did well, and then Hunter did it well as well. And one of the things that I think we share in common, and that Hunter has exemplified recently, is when you come on as a super high level dude, an individual, and you add a bunch of value right off the way, it's tough to do it without ego, and it's tough to do it without expectation. And those two things, right? So if you think about everything Hunter's done over the last couple of months, he's done it at a high level, and he's done it without ego and without expectations. He hasn't said, I've been working with this team, so give me some money off this team.
Right.
I mean, there's been no expectation, and then there's been no ego afterwards. Even after he crushed it, if we ask him to crush it again the next week, he never says, "I just crushed it."
Right.
I'm good for a bit. There's no ego, no expectation.
100%.
So that's been huge. And then with me, you and Dan, I think from the beginning, I always say, you guys have heard me say it a million times, we just fill gaps, man. And that's what you were talking about. Is myself and Dan allow you to run in your best lane. You and Dan allow me to run in my best lane. And I think that we allow Dan to run in his best lane.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And so many people, especially these days, are all about fixing their weaknesses and like, I got to fix my weakness, fix my weakness. I think there's definitely a time and a place for that, but especially after you've been doing something and been in the industry for 10 years, it's kind of time to focus on your strengths at some point.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to do so, I learned this especially when I was trying to run my own little dealer, is if without high-level partners, you don't have the ability to focus on your strengths.
Right.
Because you're too damn busy with your damn weaknesses.
Right.
It drives you nuts. And there's nothing worse than spending an entire day working in things. You've heard me talk about the recoils, the things that you hate doing. That even if you get a lot done that day, it does not feel good.
Right.
Because if you don't like doing something, if you suck at it and you're just diametrically opposed by nature to not want to do something, to not like doing that certain task, like myself with admin stuff or payroll or anything like that. Shout out to Brian Edwards for going through payroll with me while I was running my own dealer and dealing with my mistakes every single week.
Rise on.
Rise on. But I mean that to be able to focus in on your strengths, you need high level partners to do so. For sure. Without high level partners, you're gonna end up doing a bunch of time, spending a bunch of time on your weaknesses, and it's just not a good time.
Especially in front of your people, man. I feel like, like you said, there's a time and a place.
Right?
Yeah, you're on, like you always say, like when you're on stage, right? And I assimilate this to, being in the Olympics and trying to javelin when you're a sprinter. You know what I'm saying?
It's not cool.
You look bad when you're out there trying to jack the javelin. You know what I'm saying? And
look at all the MMA guys crossing over into boxing right now and getting knocked out. And losing fights left and right.
It's not your lane.
To YouTubers.
Yeah.
You say that though, but then you have YouTubers hopping lanes and being successful in boxing. So is this rigged? That's my question.
Hold on.
Is this a script?
Hold on. And you got the best boxer of all time going to podcasts, going to YouTube.
Right.
Hot boxing with Mike, dude. I love watching that. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. What knocked him out, man?
I love Tyson. There's never a bad time for more Tyson.
Yeah, right. For sure.
Quick story. When I was in Vegas for three months selling solar, I same day closed Mike Tyson's driver.
Hell yeah.
His personal driver.
Did he knock you out?
No. But he told me all these stories about Tyson because he obviously lives in Vegas in his pigeon collection.
Was it the driver from The Hangover?
I was gonna say we're gonna need that line back by. We're gonna need that line back by sunset.
No, this guy was super cool, and he was gonna actually introduce me to Tyson and drive me by his house because we got super tight. But I actually moved back to beautiful Fresno before that got to happen.
Did you have designs on his tiger?
What's that?
Do you have designs on Mike Tyson's tiger?
No, I didn't get that far. Ideally though, but no. Yeah, Mike Tyson's driver. He's got a nice, I think I believe 14 kilowatt solar system on his roof. But
let's shift again.
I like how that guy, poor guy, he doesn't even get his name dropped. He's just Tyson's driver.
I don't even know his name.
That's more important than his name.
I don't even know his name. talking 2017.
Let's talk about the most important thing in the business, guys. Let's talk about our people.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
How do we? What do you guys think some of the most important things are as far as inspiring our people?
As far as inspiring our people.
Yeah. What are some of the most important tips and tricks? I hate to even say tips and tricks because it's just got a lack of an authenticity when we say tips and tricks. But what's the best way? And I also hate the word motivation because that's very short lived. I think inspiration could also be short lived, but it definitely lasts longer than motivation, right? So how do we best inspire our people?
I think they inspire each other to some certain degree, man. I think that, wins create wins. And I think the most inspiring thing we've done in the business is bring somebody like Furry in, somebody like Matt Moss, somebody who, comes in, grabs a bull by the horns, shows everybody else. We can get up there and beat the drum and rah. And I think so many companies miss on that.
For sure.
And they hire 10 people, and everybody, including their leadership and the new reps, see 8 of the 10 people not there the next week, and next thing it becomes
That is uninspiring.
It becomes a commodity, man. But if you look around and you see see people still showing up, still being successful. We hire to retain people and build relationships. We don't hire to let people swim. We have our managers like Landon do a great job of spending time with the guys and ensuring that they have a little bit of success out of the gates. And I think that's the most inspirational thing we can do is focus on, how the other people see each other and make sure they see each other like a family, like with respect, with knowing that they're a good person, that there's no shitheads or people that sell bad deals or trying to put do same days on old people and stuff. Like, we just don't abide by that at a company level, and it brings people in that know everybody else is kind of in the same boat, in the same walk of life. And I think when they band together and they're able to enjoy each other's successes, it's unbelievable. When Matt got up there yesterday at the meeting and said one of his driving factors is to set leads so other people can enjoy and have success. It gives me goosebumps.
That was beautiful, yeah.
I want it. Yeah. That was one of the best comments.
For clarity, for anybody that ever watches this, one of our lead generators getting up and saying that he loves his job because he knows he's not the best closer in the world. He just loves setting up other people to close. Like, that's that Magic Johnson mentality, right? Like, an assist, I was a point guard when I played basketball, and a great assist can oftentimes be more exciting and more beneficial and more fulfilling to the assister than that assister actually scoring. And Matt's really personified that over the last couple of months. It's been beautiful to see.
For sure. The fullback never gets credit. Plug in the lane with a hard block, taking one to the chin. The running back skates in and does a touchdown dance. But for that fullback to really love that halfback and love their success and enjoy that as much without being disgruntled or feel unappreciated. He talked about that before he talked about the new car he just bought.
That was the most important thing. For his love for his job right now, and I think for his stoke level. I think that's how we as a group, not just the 4 of us or the leadership team. I think that's how we as a company inspire people is by proving out the model and not letting people fall by the wayside. And if they falter, if they stumble, we want to be there with an open hand. We don't want to catch them. We don't want to leave somebody who's not the best, or that that isn't going to be your top performer, isn't one of the typical top performers. Like, we want to be the company that we'll if you're a part of the family, we'll reach out. We'll absolutely try to help you up and ensure your success. We don't push people out of the business. We don't shame people that take some time to learn this thing. And if you do that consistently, more of your people that you bring in will win, and will see the wins and will change their life. And when 50 to 60% of the people you bring on stay and are able to create an unbelievable lifestyle and love the company, when that energy is in the building, that's tangible, it's inspirational, and it's, I think, what attracts and inspires a lot of our people. And just because we have a challenging job doesn't mean we need high turnover.
For
I think
sure.
That's a common misperception in this industry. Is such a challenging job. That's why we have such high turnover.
Right.
You have high turnover because you have bad hires and you have bad training.
You hire
bad
anybody.
systems and you have bad leaders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do think the retention is huge for inspiration.
I think for inspiration as well, like even just thinking back on my early days in door-to-door sales, is I think it's important that when you lead a company, you need to be living inspirational lives, exemplary lives, to where your reps can look at you and be like, that's what I'm working towards. Like, if I do what Bo did or Owen did or Dan did, if I do these things, you know, they're obviously 7, 10, 15 plus years ahead of me. If I can just, you know, do what they did, I'll be where they're at one day. And that was a big thing for me. What got me actually back to my first meeting with my first regional. I looked at the lifestyle he was living, beautiful home, beautiful wife, great family, had plenty of money. And I was just like, that's what I want to be.
Same thing with me, man. I saw that car.
You saw
I
the
literally
car.
saw a
You're
car.
Like, I want that Infinity with
I was
that
a
plastic
23-year-old
dip
kid,
rims.
and that's all I wanted.
And that was a big pull for me for harness too. You know, it was I look at Dan. Shout out to Dan. You know, he's got 12 years on me, and as far as age goes, and I say this a lot, but if I could be in a position where Dan's at when I'm his age, like I think that's a huge success, and he's done so by being smart with his money. And again, he's done the right things in life, and it doesn't inspire everybody, but for majority of people, you know,
The right thing isn't always sexy.
Exactly. But they almost subconsciously try to find mentors without like actually doing it. Some people actively do it, and I recommend mentors in all areas of life, but most people will try to pattern off of people that they like.
Right.
And if we
Then
can be
oftentimes
those
that
people,
person ends up mentoring them.
Exactly.
When you pattern off them. Right.
And to inspire people, I think we need to continue to be just, you know, examples on how to just live a dank life.
I think everybody wants a vineyard and a amphitheater in their
Done
house.
vino, right?
Our boss has an amphitheater and a vineyard
Hold up.
in Los Angeles.
He can go.
What's up?
He can go pour himself a nice bottle
of his own wine.
his own red wine,
Which he doesn't.
and which he doesn't. Sip
Which he
it at his
never-
amphitheater
literally
and
never
look at
has.
Hogwarts. He can see Universal Studios Hogwarts from his home.
He owns
Pretty rad.
he owns more bottles than anybody else I know that doesn't drink. He's got like thousands of bottles of his own wine.
It's rad though. I got a few in my house, and I'm just
That's good.
stoked on
That's
it.
good one. This
Yeah.
kind of leads me to my next question, which would be why should people join harness other than Dan's dankness of a home? But outside of that, what are some of the reasons that that people should join this company? And
It's
I've
all
got a bunch of different
It's
ideas
all
on
your
this.
cliche bullshit, dude. Like you have to see it to believe it.
Of course.
I think what does somebody need, or why should somebody come to harness? Come find out.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree.
Come check it out. Everybody can say and posture and big check Fridays and all this fluff.
Can't forget the swag.
Yeah, the swag, bro. Skyline app, bro. But just come around my way. Like the what we're doing is palatable. Again, no one talks about all the time in our interviews. Come meet the janitor. We want you to meet our lead gen guy that's been here for a week, 2 weeks, a month. I want you to meet the lowest rungs on the totem pole and ask them how they like it. Ask them how their support's been. Ask them how the culture feels. Ask them how they feel like they've been treated like a human and not overlooked or counted like a number, like once you have it, obviously the location here in Southern California, we're in New Jersey, we just opened up Florida and Vegas, we're in Puerto Rico, Utah, all over California and coming to a state near you. We're really trying to get into Texas and a few other super exciting markets. But New Jersey, obviously, shout out to New Jersey. But you have to kind of have to see it to believe it, and especially in Southern California, where we're the strongest, where we have the Harnhaus and the culture and the strongest teams there. It's just one of those things, man. You can just feel it, and I think that once that feeling is felt, the door swings one way.
Pause really quick. You said Harnhaus. Elaborate on that. What is the Harnhaus?
The Harnhaus is a magical apparatus right off of PCH in the Shore Cliffs community of San Clemente, beautiful Southern California, just the very southern tip of Orange County, and it's about a football field away from the ocean, an ocean that a beach break that fires awesome waves, world-class surf when the surf is right, and there's never anybody out there. So we're really fortunate. We've got boards hung in the office. A lot of the reps and top performers get to keep their surfboard and wetsuit at the office. It's just a little beach bungalow that we call our own, and it's not the flashiest. We don't have a indoor training room where everybody's got a little desk and is expected to take notes. We do most of our meetings outside under the beautiful California sun, wheeling a TV out, and it's magical. I mean, just ask the people that have seen the progression. We got that building in February 2020. Big dirt lot outside. It used to be an old law office, all white walls, super old. And, we've done the AstroTurf and turf and hung surfboard racks and ping pong and dartboards and just really made it a home field, cornhole and palm trees and, tiki torches.
Beautiful TV.
Beautiful TV.
The world's nicest 80-inch
He
TV.
loves this TV.
The TV is rad.
Dude, when we were watching that McGregor fight out there
yeah.
with the whole squad,
Yeah.
That was fun.
like 50 deep
So
out there with the
sick.
tiki torches lit and the massive TV. That was
Big
that was super
speaker
cool.
system,
Cool.
fire pits everywhere. And we've gotten so much feedback from the community. Thank you guys so much. This used to be such a black eye on the area. It was such a gnarly, ratty building. And now people just show up. I mean, people walk out of the parking lot in the back and what do you guys do here? What are you guys actually doing? It seems like the cool, and one thing I always hear is it seems like the coolest place in the world to work. I've got, people in the retirement home community over there, joking with me, I want to come work for you guys. And I think when it's that resounding and again, palatable from afar, how
I
many
will say
people,
this, I've been to offices in 25 different states all over the country. And there's nowhere, the big corporate offices in Utah that should go unnamed, the big corporate offices on the East Coast, there's nowhere else I'd rather work.
for sure.
It's just the vibe.
I think
That's
as
the
well
best,
too,
best way I can describe it.
we give trainings outside to our people. I think I've trained more strangers in the last 3 months that passerbys that just walk with their surfboards, go surf, and they're a group of buddies stop, listening, and I'm giving them shakas in the background, and no one knows what's up because they're looking at me. I'm just to the guys in the back, they're listening. I've had that happen almost every time
For sure.
I'm training out there, which is rad, dude. It's kind of like a incognito recruiting.
Beautiful
Yeah,
thing.
super cool.
Here's a tough question for you guys. What do you love most about harness?
I can fire off, but
What do you love? That's tough, right? Let's pick top two. Top two favorite things about the company.
I'll go first too. And I think these are really important. So, I feel like I was singular to this, but as I meet more people, and especially when I was consulting and getting to dive deep in, I realized that it's very universal that people love people. Mm-hmm. People love people. We don't know, people don't leave company, they leave managers. We all know that, but
Right.
people want to be around good people, like-minded, but also not like-minded. Like-minded in the sense that we have commonality and get along, but I also want to be around not like-minded people. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is people that push, inspire me, and want me to grow. And I think
Right.
there's a great combo of that here at Harness. And just like you said, from the janitor all the way to Dan, there isn't a single person that I'm I just don't enjoy your company. I love being around everybody. And it's like I said, it's a big family. But on top of that too, I actually texted Dan. We were at dinner the other night. And I personally, in 7 years of solar sales, have never been more excited about what we can offer as a company to our customers.
Yeah.
Not just solar.
the options.
The options, but the offerings to just
The mortgages,
complete,
the roofs,
yeah,
the refis.
in-house roofing, being able to refi a customer, lower their mortgage, add solar carport battery like Dan had.
Right.
Even our finance options through Concert, whatever, our install partners, and the Harness Advantage, just what we can do for a customer. I've been in quite a few homes and Zoom appointments as of late, and I just like the passion that I have when I'm selling because of what we've created here at Harness.
Right.
Gives me damn goosebumps.
Yeah.
I think it's the best I've ever sold.
You
as
have
far as
so
product.
many tools.
So
that
many tools.
If you're half a salesperson, that person's even
Right.
close to going solar. You're going to walk with the deal.
And
100%.
And you see so many competitors in other companies we're a solar company. Now we're gonna tack on alarms. We're gonna try to make more money from you. They're going the other direction.
More
we're like,
money
no.
from a lesser product.
Yeah, hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna spend $500 out of our own commission to set you up with this Harness Advantage to hopefully get you accelerated depreciation and lower your system costs by another 10 to 20%. I'll spend money so you save money. So my offering is actually better. Not our credit repair stuff that is self-funded. Reps literally rebuilding their customers' credit for them.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about referrals. Talk about the like you said, the offering to our customer.
Second to none, dude. It's so unique. I've never seen anything like it. And again, I have in the last year traveled to many solar companies nationwide, and it's just all universal. It's all here's our PPA, here's our loan, but it's what we do at Harness makes our job, our reps' job to sell the best they can experience in the industry. And I say that with conviction and passion because it's super true.
Super true.
And that's what I love, about Harness.
We really trust our install partners, make sure that we don't take a low dollar offer to make a little bit more money as a company. We're looking for more quality, in this race to the bottom, in this, how can I find a $1 EPC partner? We have no problem turning our nose at these companies that will sacrifice quality and will sacrifice experience and will literally sacrifice customers' roofs and issues that they have, so that reps and companies can make even more money. I think it's ridiculous, and I think that for companies that sell that way and don't care about ops, don't care about timelines, don't care about what happens after the sale and PTO.
Taking time bombs, dude.
Well, I think they're just bad for the industry. I've been wanting to say this on a public platform for a long time, but I don't fuck with you guys, dude. You start you at the end of the day, you put all of our jobs in danger, I think, when you sell this product in a malicious fashion, or you don't represent, or you don't even know. So many companies will activate sales reps. They won't teach them or train them how to really do the job, how to set clear expectations, what a PTO looks like, what even happens to the site survey. They give them an iPad and they tell them to go, get us numbers. And I think it's so detrimental, not only on a company level. I don't give a shit what you do with your company, but enough that happens enough times. There's enough bad reviews and people get enough bad taste in their mouth. God forbid that happens to a politician or somebody with influence. Now they're like, solar needs to be way more regulated.
Even if it happens to the head of the neighborhood watch.
Exactly.
The neighborhood's trashed.
Right. And it's a dangerous game, and you don't have to. The product's so good, the savings are good. It's amazing that it's even cutthroat at all. It shouldn't be. There's this industry should be filled with much more integrity. And if you own or run a company and you don't talk about solar, and you're talking about net metering swaps, and you're talking about this old garbage, I mean, get over it. It's been 7 years. Like, people know what time it is. Like, stop misrepresenting the product. Be real, be real for yourselves. And I find that it not only makes us more sales, but on the back end, customer appreciation referrals, set clean timelines, and just, train your people, man. Make sure that they know what's up. And you can't train your people if you have 2 managers and you hire 10 people a week. You're just gonna ruin neighborhoods. You're gonna burn doors, and God forbid you burn this industry, because if you do, we're gonna be set.
I'm coming for you.
I'm coming for you.
Coming for you.
I'm coming.
He's coming. What about you, El? Favorite thing? Two favorite things.
About harness. I'm just gonna go with one. But it encompasses so many different things. It's just it sounds cheesy, but it's the heart of the company and the knowledge of our heart. And what I mean by that is, we don't try to be something we're not. We are not the top performing 10,000 deals a month company. We're just driving our people like slaves, and getting the most out of the rag until it breaks, and then all of a sudden we don't have the people anymore. So with our heart and the knowledge of it, we know exactly who we are. I think that we perform in a super high level, or at a super high level within that knowledge and within that space. But we talked about it before, man. Some of the best thing about this company is just the people and how good we all are. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that we're better than anybody else or anything like that, but we just have good people that work for us. And you and I work together so closely every single day. We butt heads sometimes, but we both know we're good people, so we never actually had like a real fight. We're never going to hate working with each other, because you want the best for our people. I want the best for our people. We just have different ways of going about it sometimes. We still want the same thing. And I know Hunter wants the same thing, Dan wants the same thing, and I can legitimately say I don't think there's a single rep in our company that doesn't want to see the person next to them succeed.
I agree.
That doesn't want to see the company succeed. So we have this great big heart that you could articulate in a different way. You could say it's our culture, but I think it boils down to even below culture. It's really just like the heart of the company and knowing what that looks like. And everybody knows what we stand for. Right. You know what I mean? Like, the people in our company aren't confused about what harness is about. We know exactly who the hell we are. We know exactly what we're about. And we're about heart and taking care of people the right way, and hopefully selling a bunch of deals, having a bunch of fun, and making a bunch of money.
What's the quote? I thought for sure you were going to come out with the quote.
Which one?
The one on the board.
We may mislead, or we may miss, but we'll never mislead.
That's it, man.
We may miss, but we'll never mislead.
We came up with that in an interview one day, and we have a few things. We have that one specifically, and it was like, it just came out of nowhere. And it's true, man. Like, every company misses. No company's perfect. But what are their motives? Why did they miss? Did they miss? Did they miss on the side of the rep? Did they miss on the side of the company or the customer? Did they did they miss because they were greedy? Like what led to that miss? And like, I think one of our things is just like, we'll be straight up with you.
Right.
We're not going to be perfect, but you're going to get, you're going to get full transparency, and we're not going to mislead you.
And I think that we found if we take care of, like, so many people are customer focused, customers always right. And I'm with that. I love our customers, absolutely, hands down. But I love our people more, to be very transparent, because I've noticed that if the love trickles down, you know what I mean, and goodness and the ethics and the morality of things trickle down. So if we take care of our people, because that's who I'm in front of.
For sure.
That's what we're in front of. So why would I try to jump our people and circumvent our people to try to take care of our customers? I'd rather just take care of our people to make sure that they then in turn take care of the customers.
It's like Costco.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
got
Costco.
a good, good thing, and you see people that like coming to work. They have good, good. I don't know how.
like Costco.
Everything's so cheap, but I don't know how they make enough money. But they pay their people well. You look at companies like Southwest, I guess. I don't know. Really try to ride Southwest, but I hear they're happy there too. But
I think they used to be happy.
yeah,
I mean, it's about the people. It's about the people. And hands down, again, I love the customers. We wouldn't have a business without them. But the best way I've found to take care of our customers is take care of our people.
100% nailed it.
Without question.
Look for more areas and avenues for them to be successful with the Prime program, lead gen, the farm league, giving the salespeople more products to sell, roofing, mortgages, and just like you said, you arm your salespeople with tools and gifts to give.
Right.
They're able to give more gifts.
And taking care of a customer is so reactive. You know what I mean? I think so oftentimes leaders in our industries are always putting out fires. I know in previous positions I've been in, I felt like a fireman all day. But the
Every phone call.
proactive way, every phone put
call.
out a fire constantly.
Right.
But if you, instead of treating the symptom, if you treat the root cause, which is your people, you don't have the fires to put out.
100%.
So I'd much rather be proactive in taking care of our people and making sure that they understand the right way to do business, as opposed to trying to clean up after them. And I think that's what our people focused and forward versus customer focused is really all about. I want our people to take care of our customers. I don't want to be putting out fires all day.
That's it.
I want to be leading people.
You're right. Nailed it. But plus, prosperity is where prosperity flows where the most value is created. And I look at again, back to what I was saying about Harness's offering, and the reason we're not always putting out fires, the reason why our customers are happy, is because the value that Harness adds to the rep, to be able to add to the customer, is an unparalleled experience where there's not going to be issues. And we just pour heavily into the sales reps, and they're the most successful reps in solar, in California, in Jersey for sure. Their paychecks are fat, they're treating people right, and the products that they can offer are the best.
My favorite thing about Harness is just the why in which we operate, man. The reason Dan created the company, for a better home for people that have been in the industry. They know how good solar is, but for whatever reason weren't being taken care of, weren't being transparent, didn't have the ability to grow they wanted to. And just, I love the vision of what we set out to do, 4 or 5 years ago, and why Dan created the company, and how every day I see us getting closer and more aligned with actually who we are, instead of deviating to,
I agree.
And it's easy to, man. It's easy.
And there's
to
course corrections sometimes, but I feel like we make them pretty quickly.
for sure.
Super quick.
And nobody has any weird ideas of like the direction we're going or what we should be. We all want to be the same thing, so it's easy to point out. If we all want to go the same place and we start deviating to the left or the right, it's easy to call it out, and somebody's always going to do it.
For sure. I love the idea that, we let our best sales guy go to Utah for 4 months, and every time we talk to him, instead of, hey man, I know you guys probably want me to come back. No, dude, I actually want to come out there, take you and your girlfriend to Park City, pay for everything, just to show you how much we love and appreciate you.
Sure.
The entire time I was out there, it wasn't any, hey, let's get you back, or let's make a plan. I was just like, let's just enjoy this, man. You were number one last year. We love you. And, so he as I left, I saw the snow report. I saw I was going to pour for the next 3 weeks. It's like, stay.
Oh, yeah.
Come back charged up, dude. I want to see you shredding. Enjoy it as much as you can. We'll always be there, or we'll be there waiting for you when you get there. But, show up when you're ready. And, this specific individual is one of the best people that's ever done solar, in my opinion, in the country. And shout out to Landon. We love you, brother. When he got in, it's always been such a push, I feel like, from other companies to get him to want to, do the raw stuff, or, be a manager. And he's always just been such a talented rep, and wanted to work more inwardly. And I think it was such a a compliment to how we run the business, that when he got here, he was just like, I just want to be a part of something. I want to help. I want, more responsibility. And this is the kind of guy that, coming out here, I was like, if he doesn't come to meetings, I don't care. Like he's able to do, whatever he wants to do. When we just want to make sure that he's happy here. But being that was the true, genuine factor, and he felt comfortable to actually say, this is
super important.
I feel comfortable.
You got to be in a
enough with this company.
safe space to be able to say that. It's ridiculous.
To want to contribute. He's had to build so many different companies and teams, and had the rug pulled out for him so many times. He's had so much PTSD, and asshole companies trying to sue him for garbage people he came up with, buddies of his, and who you are. That's bullshit. And I think that it's just a testament to have somebody who's been through that much stuff, through that much tumultuous situations, to like volunteer and say, no, like, I know this is different. I can tell I've got enough belief in you guys and what we're doing. Like you guys have earned for me to participate more, and just like music to my ears. I think that's a huge testament to really, being there for our people and how they receive that.
For sure. Agreed, man. Let's talk sales, boys. I mean, that's how we all got here.
Gotta love them.
Right, let's talk sales.
Gotta love them.
So number one tip, just broad strokes here. Number one tip to make a sale.
Bring dog treats.
Bring dog treats.
Here we go.
Done. 100.
Just be a person that they want to be around. Sell yourself. Number one.
Yeah.
Love it.
Biggest thing.
Dog loves you. I'd get a little spray bottle, some water, some bacon grease, hit your socks, dude. The dog's gonna love you. He doesn't like anybody. Yeah, he likes me. I gotta
name that breed.
dog breed books on the John.
Study them.
Is that a Yorkie poo? Well, why in fact it is. Come on inside. Do you guys have a contract for me to sign? And I do naturally love dogs, but I think it's I don't know, man. I think it's cheesy and everybody laughs when I say it, but at the end of the day, like, you want to increase your effectiveness. You want to increase your sales by 10%, being the same guy, same words, no better than you were the day before. Just get some hypoallergenic dog treats, put them in your back pocket, and just ask, obviously, for permission to give Fido a treat. You'll be amazed at the law of reciprocation, how that shows that you're prepared, especially if you're walking into an appointment and they have a dog. Bring a dog treat. Go get it stop at Petco, get it a toy. Don't do a squeaky one, because then every time it squeaks, it's gonna be pissed at you. But
yeah, don't do that.
Little things like that. I mean, it's you increase your likableness 10% by being the same person with dog treats in your pocket. If you're new to the industry, go get them.
Plus, can you imagine the credibility you'd have if you knock on a door and 10 stray chihuahuas are following you because you have the treats?
Pack.
You're like, hey, I'm Bo, and this is Sparky, this is Spike.
Like Ace Ventura out here.
Yeah, totally.
Actually, funny you have a bird. I actually have bird seed as well. I got a briefcase. That's true. Hamster, got that.
It plays.
Got some celery for you.
What about you, O?
Yeah.
Mine would just be the best thing that happened to them that day. You know what I mean? That no matter what happens, no matter what happens, whether you get the sale or not, because obviously in solar there's follow-backs or follow-ups and things like that. But just be the best thing that happened to them that day. If you get 10 seconds with them, make that the best 10 seconds. Like even if you don't get the deal, even if you don't get inside, you want them to close the door like, man, that guy was cool, or he was funny. Whatever that person needs, you got to be the best thing they've experienced that day. And especially if you're sitting there for a close, you better believe if I close you on a solar deal, it's gonna be the most entertaining hour that you've spent that day. It's gonna be the best hour of your day.
Yeah,
for sure.
100% agree. I think it's even knocking doors and somebody who's diametrically opposed to going any further that day. If you can, make a joke or be funny, a lot of times you'll get okay, thanks for stopping by. And it's like, thanks. He was like, you didn't want me here at all. I just, made some silly comment.
I will be back now.
Yeah. Check.
I'm gonna sell your neighbor and come right back.
Hashtag 1AC.
Good job, Bo. Hustling. Wow.
You get a new rep gets a smile, and that's when they post the 0.5 ACs. They smiled. They really like me. They said they'll have their bill next week. 0.5.
It's so funny.
Don't do that.
It's so funny what you learn when you first get started. Like, what are something that you learn, whether it was like let's go like a straight door to door too, like, oh, is there oil stains outside? If not, they probably park their car inside. That means they might be home, I learned one, don't judge the car, judge the tread on the tires. If you got somebody
interesting.
I learned I usually won't knock a door if the car parked closest to the door isn't there. If the spot closest to the door is empty, the person making the decision
because
maker is
they're
likely
close to
not
the door.
there.
They're
Exactly.
big. They're big dog. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I learned that if there's a PT Cruiser in the driveway, you knock that damn door. If someone could sell him a PT Cruiser, he would sell him anything.
My dad wanted one of those at one point, bro. He wanted one. He was like,
No
GT
way.
Cruisers are cool.
You're like, Dad, I will disown you as a son.
Like I learned if there's a Hummer in the driveway, keep on going. That's a fail.
No, dude, that's a bull, dude.
That's a fail credit.
That's a fail credit.
Oh yeah.
Every
Christmas
single
lights.
time.
Christmas lights.
In July.
Yeah.
Christmas lights
When
in
the
July.
Christmas lights don't come
Fail
down.
credit.
It's either a renter or a fail credit.
Fact.
Similar to the tire and the tread in the tire, you know? It's like, do you take care of your shit?
Right. I don't care if it's a 1993 Toyota 4Runner.
You got
that
nice
thing's
tires.
got nice tires,
Oh, yeah.
and you can tell it's not leaking.
sure.
Guy takes care of stuff, swings a wrench. He obviously knows what time it is and would be a great candidate for solar. It's the first thing I'd say. I noticed the tread on your tires, and then that 93 was at the inline 4-cylinder engine. It's not leaking. It's tough to make that happen. Where do you get your gasket served?
Sir, he's going to be
A special
twitching.
place to get your gaskets.
He's like, honey, prepare your supper.
And he goes, I'm making myself, and we are best
Come
friends.
on in.
Whoa, shit.
I was like, that's when he flips the glass up. He says, Beaufort Kinga. No, I bet it's that customer that drives the real first name, dare I say it.
Yeah.
Glasses flip. I'm Austin Kinga.
Oh wow.
Nice to meet you.
I go deep. ABF here, Austin Bjorn Fulkinga. How you doing?
At your service.
Yeah.
What about rejection, guys? So what's your top tip for handling rejection?
You cry. You buckle up. You go home. I go home and have my wife, just make me nice soup and tell me that I'm good.
Quit so we can
just
sell that
kidding.
customer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. What are you talking? Like somebody slamming or
No, like how do you
there's
just handle rejection?
Yeah,
that's
let's picture
not
a hardcore rejection.
Well, that's
What's
not
the
a-
best way to handle hard rejection?
There's way different kinds of rejection, bro. There's the cancel day before install rejection.
That's tough.
We're talking knock knock.
We're talking KK.
Like get out of here, you scum. Like that kind of rejection.
Get a real job. Nobody loves you. You're adopted. Your parents don't even love you.
How did you know?
Dude, I don't know, man.
What's
I
the
can
worst?
answer.
Wait, let's go deeper first.
Yeah,
what's the
I've almost
worst
fought a dude.
thing? What's the worst thing you've been told on the doors? I got into an altercation on the doors, but what's the worst thing you've been told in the
Worst
doors?
worst thing that ever happened to me.
meanest thing.
Well, it didn't even happen to me. I've had guys come at me. Honestly, I don't even really remember any of that stuff.
Right.
And I'm decent size, so
I'm just saying the meanest thing.
they have to be ready to
Decent
go.
size, so.
They have to be ready to go. No, like I feel like I haven't got so much of people being like aggressive towards me
Right.
or
well,
like
you're such a lovable dude.
Yeah, and
it'd
I
be
break.
tough to be mean to you.
I break, and I come in soft, dude. I break preoccupation. I'm very. I try to treat it like myself. How would I want somebody to knock on my door? I'm not going to come in guns blazing. I'm not going to run you over. If not,
You've never really gotten a real mean thing, is what you're saying.
I mean, I've definitely gotten people that caught them at the bad time. Their kids crying, they're freaking out. They're like, just slam the door, but never anything like you fucking suck. But one time, this chick, that's my second one. Yeah.
Too.
Well, I'm going to use your guys' too, I think.
No.
We all got one F-bomb, guys, so I'm going to use everybody's. I had this lady in New Jersey. I was like in Pennsauken, some kind of ghetto rundown spot. And this lady, beautiful golden retriever, comes up to the screen door is open, middle of the day.
Oh, you think you're on.
Yeah, I'm psyched. I'm like, oh, hey, buddy, he's wagging his tail, super happy. And he like leans and didn't latch because apparently the latch was broken because they were poor and couldn't fix the latch. And he comes out, I'm like petting him, and she comes to the door, freaking NASCAR shirt, freaking pajamas on at like 3 p.m.
Nice.
Walks
Marlboro
out,
Red.
grabs a dog by the neck, kicks it in the ass on the way back inside.
Whoa.
And
You're diametrically opposed to
Grumpy
that.
man.
I was just like, say whatever you want to me, spit in my face, come at me with a knife, pull a gun on me all day, but
Don't kick your dog.
don't kick that dog, dude. Like that.
You said that to him.
No, she just like closed the door, I think. I was just like heart wrenched.
That's interesting, dude. The worst thing that happened to you on the doors didn't happen to you.
No, dude, that
It's
poor
classic
dog.
Bo
He like looked
response
over
right
his
there.
shoulder as I was getting the ass kicked. I was like, I should go back and stole that dog, dude.
Stole him.
Yeah, he was a cool dog. Just what a, no job, NASCAR fan, just low life, dude.
Oh, NASCAR, by the way. Nothing wrong. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s listener. He's an avid listener.
We're gonna move on.
Yeah, let's move on from
All
NASCAR.
right, what about you?
I've had a plethora of experiences. I've been had a gun pulled on me, I've been punched. But the way I like to handle objection is there's one thing I was taught, and it is to be It's just a concept of being married to the process, but emotionally unattached to the result.
Yeah.
Super simple.
Such a high level concept. I was taught that early as well.
It's beautiful. It's just
Shout
like,
out Wesley Goddard taught me that actually. He's
I don't
not
know who
even
he is, but shout out to you, Wesley.
yeah,
Appreciate
he's a
your help.
Cutco guy.
Oh,
Cutco guy. Stud.
Cutco is a high level org.
Yeah.
I will say this.
I need
but-
some nice knives.
Dude,
if
this-
they hit me up, I'd probably buy them.
This man recruited 30. I think it was the number was 30,000 people at Cutco over like 20 years or some shit. It was ridiculous.
Well, you're holding one of those sharp Cutco knives. Yeah,
Actually, never bought one.
everybody signs the rep agreement. Let me show you an example.
Anyway,
anyway, back to the concept, right? It's just, you need to just, it's so simple. Like, I see people that get so frazzled by rejection. I'm like, why? Like, it's, you signed up for this. Like, it's going to happen. Like, you're going to go knock a door, and guess what? Someone's going to say no. Big whoop. Go to the next door. Realize that's part of the process and expect it. And just, Michael O'Donnell always says, go for the no. Don't go for the yes. Go for the no, get the yes. I think he wrote a book actually called Go for the No, Get the Yes. And
that dude's a savage too.
Oh, dude, shout out to you, Mike. You're probably listening. I love you. Your stuff. We need to link up. Actually, I want to get, this is a public, I want to get Michael O'Donnell out here to do a training for the hardest
go.
reps. Let's do it. But anyways, yeah, just understand it's going to happen. And when it happens, just move on to the next door, and if the person wants to be an ass, and the one thing I will say that gives me any kind of an emotional reaction, it isn't being mean to me, but if they try to like look down, maybe it's my pride or ego, I don't know. When they try to
Get
like
a
say
real
like
job.
you're a loser,
Yeah.
I just want to turn around and point to the six-figure car.
Ooh, the Model X out there
Hey.
with the chameleon rainbow trout wrap.
Right, rainbow trout wrap. It's just like, dude, this is how I provide for my family.
right.
What do you do?
What right do you have to insult?
Dude,
them?
it's like I checked.
It's always something in their life too.
Yeah,
it's not you.
It's not me.
something in
It's-
their life.
everyone wears masks. They're.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we can go deeper.
I've checked.
which I would like to, but
I've checked. I don't know. I've checked household incomes because I've signed up a bunch of your neighbors, and I know I make money than all of you fools. So,
no.
yeah,
absolutely.
That's funny. Cash me outside.
Cash me outside.
Oh, boy.
When people are asses, it's like their perception of you is a projection of themselves.
Totally.
For sure.
When you realize that, you start taking things not personally at all. Anymore.
For sure.
I had
And
to
you
take
can just
myself
do the
out of it
process. Yeah.
because I think that when you've had a lot of success or an easy life, whatever you want to say, when you haven't had a lot of rejection before you start this job, I think it can be very, very challenging. And I was that guy. I hadn't been rejected really much at all. My parents told me no all the time, but I didn't listen to them.
Question for you viewers: would you reject this man if
I
he
just
knocked
hadn't
on your
faced
door?
it. I mean, like
didn't think
before
so.
doors, you know what I mean? I hadn't
Yeah.
faced it. And when I heard it 50 times in a day, I was different. I did take an emotion. I was like, what the hell is wrong? Like what, I've never, 24 years, I've never run into this.
Right.
And now I've just seen it 50 times in
Yeah,
one day.
and you're like, this is something new.
And I just talked to everybody about this the other day, but I finally had to take myself out of it and realize that the stimulus or the rejection or whatever, it was completely value neutral. Like the things only have the meaning of what you attach to them. You know what I mean? So that it was only meaning what I attached to it. And just because somebody said F you, I was thinking immediately, I wasn't actually pushing it like through my decision-making capabilities. And I was just thinking, well, fuck me. You know what I mean? As opposed to, okay, what meaning am I going to attach to that? Or nothing, or this is funny, or this pissed me off, made me better than the next door.
Right.
And so once I understood that I could attach whatever meaning I wanted to the rejection by taking myself out of the situation,
Right.
then it became almost a game, or not almost a game. It did become a game. You know what I mean? So at that point, it got a lot easier. But it took me months to figure that out. That was not something I figured out. And I mentioned earlier that I was terrible for months, and that was why. It was just specifically because of the rejection. I didn't know how to handle it. Nobody ever taught me, and I didn't have a leader there at that time that could teach me how to do that. So I figured that out through trials and tribulations. And I was so broke going into door to door. I had holes in my shoes. I remember getting into houses just to rest my feet because they were bleeding. And I remember specifically one time I bled on somebody's white carpet, and they didn't see it. And I was like,
I know a Kirby guy. I'm so sorry.
I was in like
I got a Kirby in the trunk.
Hey, Chris Burgess. Chris Wood, he could still get in somehow. Great vacuum. But it was terrible. You know what I mean? And I saw I was pushed so low to try to figure that out. And I'll never forget being morally conflicted on whether I should let them know that I bled on your carpet. And I walked out with kind of my head held pretty low, like I bled on your carpet, and I didn't tell you I bled on your carpet. I don't know if that was a good or a bad thing. And I just remember like trouncing down the street in Kentucky, just like fuck my life.
There it is.
This is tough.
3, we're done. Wrap. Call it
It's 4. We're on. Hunter gets none. But yeah, that was tough, man. But and it was all because I didn't know how to handle rejection. Like I went through all that pain because I just didn't know how to handle rejection. It's a skill.
Yeah.
It's not like as we talked before, like what one man can do, another can do it. This isn't a jump from the free throw line type moment. This is just a simple skill, almost as simple as eating with a fork. Like if you were never taught to eat with a fork and somebody gave you one, you'd be like,
Wait.
right?
On that note, let me see your pen. Do you guys hold your utensils like this? If you do, I can never talk to you again. Okay,
No,
good.
absolutely not. Absolutely.
I just wanted to clear that. We all hold them.
Shout out my man Justin Bailey out here.
I hold my pen super weird as well.
No, this is eating.
Really? Hold that up.
Let's keep
Hold that
going,
up.
guys. Let's keep going.
Sorry, yeah.
Something around
It's
this.
important stuff, you know, but anyways.
I love how we're like shouting out like
All these people
Mike Tyson.
thinking-
Mike Tyson, what up? West gang. Shut the throw at the H, dog.
Shout out to Conor McGregor for that proper number 12 over here.
Hey, she in my DMs.
Who the fuck is this guy? Hey, wake up. Too much proper 12. Too much proper 12.
Let's
move on.
Jesus.
Really getting off the rails.
Let's go. Top 3 tips on how to get in the door.
Get in the door.
In the door. You weren't much of a transitioner,
Oh,
so I think
dog,
we might
don't
just skip you for this
skip
one.
me, dude.
We're gonna skip you for this.
I'm coming back when you expect me. You know. I know.
I'm genuinely gonna skip you. You set appointments for yourself. You come back.
Yeah.
This is not.
I know
your,
I
your
dropped
strong
by
suit.
unannounced. I'd love to come back when you guys are expecting me
Right.
and you have some time to do some research before.
Yeah, that's not what I'm
I'm
talking
the
about
same.
here.
Even when I go for same days.
Okay.
Like,
Anyway, I'll ask myself the same question. So even with solar, I never set appointments for anybody. I was always going inside. Even when I first started my solar career, I didn't have the ability to same day close, but I would still go inside and do a full presentation and get a verbal commitment, and then come back with a contract in 3 days. So I'm always going inside. I was taught very early on that the sales happened at the table, and I wasn't trying to go anywhere else. So the shoes on or off to actually get in the door was huge. But as you mentioned before, being more entertaining than Jeopardy and making yourself super, super non-threatening, right? So by the time I ask you, I don't want to ask, we always talk about juice versus squeeze, right? Juice versus squeeze, you need enough juice to squeeze that transition in. So I don't want to ask you if I can come in the door and wonder if I'm coming in. Like by the time, there has to be a significant reason for me to get in the door. I have to build enough juice, enough interest to where by the time I try to transition, you want me in there because you want what I have. So when I'm looking to transition, it's not an ask. It's okay, let's go inside and talk about it. I need a place to put this down so I can show you exactly what you just asked about. So if you ask me a question, how much can it save me? Cool, let's go inside and talk about it. You have your bill. Let's write down exactly on the bill, show you how it can save you, where it can save you, and exactly how much that'll be. You know what I mean? So you're going to ask me to come into your house essentially. And then when I transition, it's going to be full steam ahead. As you mentioned, I don't think there's anything better than the tried and true shoes on or off.
Works.
If you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you inside is where the answer is. Do you want me to take my shoes on or off? Let's go inside. You know what I mean?
Except he doesn't say shoes on or off. He says, do you want me to bleed on your carpet or on your hardwood floor?
Dude, still have nightmares about that
Well,
one for sure.
a little side story. Poor O's dog got hurt yesterday and bled all over his carpet, I assume.
Absolutely.
So there you go. karma.
Full circle.
Full circle. Thanks a lot, Toretto.
He cut his foot. Tredo cut his dew claw.
But Toretto's got plenty of money to buy shoes. He just doesn't because he's lazy.
I would always transition. First door I ever knocked with Curtis, we went on the Wicker outdoor furniture. I know at in Arizona there was a lot of outdoor furniture and stuff, Wicker stuff, right? They had like outdoor furniture stuff. It was easy to be like, hey, it's been super hot out here. I've been on my feet all day. Can I just sit down out here?
Right.
Or to do a walk around in the backyard and try to get a transition to like a patio seating. So I was always much more confident, presenting from outside of the house. And my biggest transition wasn't to get in the house. I wanted to get you and me to the meter,
Right.
and or do a full walk around the house to look at the roof. I just say, hey, I just need to do a quick roof assessment. If there's vent pipes, or if there's if I can tell that there's damage, then I won't even waste your time. You want to grab your shoes and do a quick walk around with me? It'll take 30 seconds for us to walk around the house. Sure. And then after that, now I'm transitioned. But I think we've gotten through a
bunch, and we got to save some for next time.
I want to do this again.
I know we're
know,
definitely
it's
doing this
hella
again.
fun.
So
This
let's
is
wrap
fun.
it there. Cheers, guys.
Hey,
Cool
can I
stuff.
say something really quick to end out? You guys got
Please
to use
do.
yours. I need to use mine. Love you guys.
Nice. Love you guys
Cheers
too.
to an empty
Cheers.
cup.
To the
right?
big ships, the small ships, and the best ships, the friendships. We love you guys. Heart Nation, thank you so much for everything you guys do. Dan Dunn, hopefully you approve, brother, and we look forward to seeing you guys all soon. Thank you. Shout out
See
to
you
Serge,
guys.
our guy.
Peace.